Hello, everybody. I'm Dolphin. We're going to be doing this. All right. When am I clear to start?
I just have a quick announcement for donations.
Yeah, sure.
Anonymous donated $3.77, which brought us back to the $3,220, 0.69.
Ooh.
Gotta have that 0.69.
I know, right?
I was also just informed by popular demand, if we reach $4,000, by the time Earthbound gets run, we will do another run of Rocky and Bullwinkle by
no.
Jimmy Lupins. You gotta have that Rocky and Bullwinkle, the best music for the best game.
Stop.
All right, without further ado, I will let Dolphin take over. But actually, before, can we get a roll call from you guys?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I'm Dolphin.
And I'm Dolphin's sister.
Yeah.
The other sister.
Hi. Shout out to the Skullgirls community, because I know a lot of them are probably watching the stream right now.
All right. You're free to take it away. Just give me a countdown, and we'll go.
Okay, so how about 3, 2, 1, and go. Alright, so this is Ecco, the Tides of Time. A lot of people haven't played this game compared to Ecco 1, but if you watch speedruns a lot, you've probably seen Blue Glass or myself run this game at least once. The main thing about this run is that it's a lot more movement-based than Ecco the Dolphin 1. And by that I mean there's a lot of parts of walls and things that stick out, so that's really the bigger concentration. Ecco 1 is famous for being a very broken game, lots of clips, lots of glitches, lots of skips, that kind of thing. Ecco 2 is really more about the hardcore movement, which is what I've been mostly practicing today. Right now I'm in a 3D stage and auto-scroller. There's quite a few of these throughout the run, so this is a great time to read donations if you ever get any. But for the most part, all I want to do is hit these teleport rings. These sections are about a minute each. Each time I miss a teleport ring, I lose about 4 seconds, and I have to hit, I think, it's 8 or 9 of them in order to progress to the next stage.
This is really great for me to watch my brother. I was the one that first put the controller in his hand, so it's really cool to be back. He's far surpassed.
Yeah, so this is
my
level. It's why my sister's on the couch. Is actually she was the first person to like play this game and introduce me to it. I've been playing this game for pretty much my entire life. Also, this level is long, it's boring, it sucks, so I'm just gonna skip it. Sound good? Cool.
Oh my god. I'm not a speedrunner, so seeing all this is really incredible to me.
Yeah. So, this is pretty much just another movement-based level right here. I had to push that block really quick, and then there's going to be some rocks. If I actually don't get hit by them, there will be less of them which spawn, which is helpful. There's a tight little corner right here I'm going to squeeze myself into. Craigasm. No one never said this. And I'm going to go ahead and move on. Alright, so this is Two Tides. There's 2 parts to this level. The second part contains a very important skip. This first part is just all movement. I've got these really tricky turns right here. I need to go and get this key glyph, and I need to get this key glyph twice, so I've actually practiced this particular part right here a lot, but sometimes I still mess it up, like you saw me do it right there. This is one of the most movement-intensive levels in the game that I've actually done a lot of practice and refinement on, because it's a very big time loss if you don't do well here. Also, I just want to give a quick shout out to Myung for modding my Genesis with the S video, because he's an incredible person, and he did it for free, actually, and he is the reason why you can watch this game in the amazing quality that it is right now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and push this turtle down. Shoutouts to Isco. I doubt you're watching because you're in China right now. And pop open this glyph, and now you're going to see some really crazy shit. So, basically...
Explain the story, please.
Alright.
Please do.
Yeah, so... Ecco the Dolphin. Long story short, he's a time-traveling dolphin that fights aliens. This dolphin with the giant fins that just popped out of nowhere I'm actually going to touch her, and then I'm going to travel into the future, 1,000 years into the future. And in the future, there's going to be these levitating dolphins that will telekinetically allow me to jump between them. There'll also be water tubes that go into the sky. I will try not to spend too much time explaining the lore, but I know when people see this game for the first time, they're usually not really sure what's going on. I'm going to turn into a bird. You're going to see some really crazy shit.
It's the future, guys.
Yep.
Future's here.
Alright, so like I said, we've got a really big skip coming up. I'm basically going to try to bounce off of a barrier glyph, and then I'll go ahead and just bounce into the loading zone and skip the level. This setup may take me 1 or 2 tries. The important thing about it is the positioning. In order to get to it first, I need to travel up, go upright, dive down just a little bit. I'm going to have this telekinetic dolphin pick me up, launch me up. I need to align myself with the right side of the tube right about here. Perfect. Jump upright, and that is exactly what the skip should look like. So that was really great that it was first try.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, this level is also very short. There's a really not... I mean, there is a very optimized skip you can do here. I'm not going to do it because this is a marathon and I also haven't practiced it that much. We're going to go ahead and pop into another auto-scroller, so if we happen to get a donation again, now would be a great time. Not really a whole lot I can do on auto-scrollers like these. I'm going to do some minor things to reduce lag here and there, but for the most part, I've played these enough that I pretty much never die on them. Although I know last time I said that at a marathon, I ended up cursing myself.
He makes this look really easy, but it actually took me a really long time when I was 10 or whatever.
Yeah, the Ecco games are just very infamous for their difficulty. Hopefully I'm making it look pretty good, hopefully I'm making it look like it's pretty smooth. It's really not your first playthrough, but I still recommend you check these games out, especially if you like games that are about exploration and puzzles. Really the atmosphere is probably the biggest appeal to me. Oh yeah, also, now would probably be a good time. Shoutouts to my friend, CloudKing211. You should follow him on Twitter at CloudKing211 and wish him a happy birthday because it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. This is one of the most movement-intensive levels in the game, and it's a very big risk if I mess it up, so I'm just going to concentrate on this for a minute. Okay, we've got one really difficult turn. Perfect. Slide up, pop out of this tube to save a small amount of time.
Oh my god, well done. That was so smooth.
Thank you. So, Tube of Medusa, the reason why that's such a scary level is because if you die on that level, you will actually start 2 levels back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Anybody who's played this game casually, like my sister, will definitely remember. Because there's normally a giant Medusa that terrorizes you. If you go fast enough, though, it doesn't bother you too much unless you play on hard mode. That's another thing I want to talk about really quick, just the difficulty. I'm playing on the easiest difficulty. Actually, I'm going to concentrate because there's a really tough jump right here. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, that was really close. That was almost not a good trick, but that was really good.
Nice.
This run's really solid so far. Anyway, I'm playing on the easiest difficulty. If you go to hard, then I believe there's like small life changes. There's a couple extra levels, but a lot of them are auto-scrollers. I personally don't really enjoy the auto-scrollers, so I just like playing in easy mode. Also, yeah, I'm a bird. Shoutouts to birds. We're gonna enter another 3D stage right here, so we'll go ahead and, oh nice. Didn't quite pop in as smoothly as I would like. This is actually really good. I've hit every difficult thing first try, and my movement feels very solid. I think it's this nice TV.
Oh, I was gonna say it was me, but then if you mess up later, then I don't want to blame myself.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Following up after this, also I'll be running Disney's Aladdin on the Genesis, a much shorter run. I also believe that shoutouts to Cassie, she donated or got people to donate $90 to fill the donation incentive to have me and Jeff sing it. So you can look forward to that, and I use the words "look forward" in quotation marks. So after we get through this 3D stage right here, these are only in the second game, by the way, not the first game. I'm going to do a trick where I'll turn into a bird again, but this time I'll have one of the bigger birds put me through a wall. I think I have one more teleport ring right here, and then we should be all set. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Alright, so align myself towards the surface right here. We've got a small jump. Go down just a little bit, and then right about here, I want to jump and turn into a bird right here. There's a texture I cannot see very well, and you probably can't see it on the stream well either, that I align myself with. Head up left, and this bird's going to push me into the wall, and then I'll be able to go straight to the exit, which skips, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds of time. This next level, you're going to see me use my sonar to push some glyph halves together. Those will actually despawn if they go too far off screen. You're going to see me use my sonar in order to push them, or just push them physically like that. So this can be kind of scary, although I've put a lot of time into optimizing this lately in order to make it go faster. Pop this barrier glyph open. There's going to be a tube right about here. Oh, it's a little bit off. Oops, it's not good. Small positioning error. Grab onto one of these, have it launch me right over. So there's going to be a worm that'll open this rock barrier for me. I'm just going to wait here and wait for it to show up. You can sonar it to push it, but because it causes so much lag, because the Genesis is a very old and cranky console, I don't end up doing that because it actually just loses time. Got one more glyph half to push right here. Good. Down right, and there we go.
This guy is supposed to be, I believe, the oldest being in the universe.
Yeah, this is the asteroid.
Basically a giant strand
of DNA. Yeah. There we go. But we were actually in the future right now. Now we're time traveling back to the present.
Right, and that was like the ghost asteroid or something.
It's the future asteroid, yeah. So basically in this game there's 2 possible timelines, the good future and the bad future. That was the good future that I'm exiting right now. The bad future will come later, and you might be surprised at what it looks like. It's really crazy. Alright, so we've got to rescue some orcas. They'll be swimming around. I've got to return them back to the orca mom here before one of them will open up the loading zone for me. In order to grab them, you just have to position yourself near them for a second. As long as I don't ever mess it up, then it usually goes pretty fast because they all move on specific cycles with the timer that starts once you enter the level. Grab the second one right here, and we'll swim back, take these 2 back, and then we've got one more pair we need to rescue before the level's over.
In hard mode, you have to rescue
a bazillion of them. Yeah.
Orcas, yeah. That mom has been really busy.
She's been very busy.
Yeah. No wonder she's losing them all over the place.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and grab this orca right here. We got one more down and to the left. Grabbed it. We're going to take one more trip back, and then we're going to have a short escort segment. because we all love that. Ugh. Movement was a little bit sloppy right there.
Movement seems really important in this level.
It is very important in this level, and again, it's like Two Tides where you're going through the same area multiple times, so you just by practicing those segments like a little bit and just making them a bit more clean, you'll end up saving a lot of time in the long run. Especially the segment we're at right now, which is, I would say, probably where mid-game starts, but in the present, it's a lot more like movement-based. The levels are a little bit longer, and there's a lot more curvy turns that you need to navigate. Whereas I would say the late game is more about like platforming and kind of difficult puzzles. Yeah, so we're just gonna hang around him. Again, if we have donations, now would be a great time to read them as well.
We haven't gotten any yet, but I do have a quick question. Oh, no, I take that back. Anonymous donated $3.77.
Rest in peace, 69.
To get 69 cents. Also, a quick question.
Hey.
Where does the Game Gear game fit into the lore?
The Game Gear games are, by timeline, the same. They're the same games. They have the same story. They're just different versions of them.
Okay.
I honestly would not recommend them. In fact, I'd only really recommend the Genesis versions for playing, because the Game Gear ports are pretty severely. I don't know. I guess dumbed down is kind of like an unfair word, but they're definitely not quite to the quality these games are.
Simplified, maybe.
Yeah. And, you know, they don't really control as well. And in 2, there's like all these theories that the Ecco 2 Game Gear port is actually unfinished because there's a lot of elements in it that actually mimic one of the early prototypes of this game. But it's missing like large chunks of the story, and like there's just things that happen that don't make sense. So it's kind of like you're playing the whole game out of order compared to this one. Anyway, this dolphin can be a little bit tricky. His name is Blackfin, by the way, because I know you were all wondering about the lore.
I was.
Of course. Where'd he go? There he is. Okay. Anyway, so this dolphin needs to stay on screen, otherwise if I lose him, then I have to go back and get him again. And sometimes he can be a little bit of a jerk and then try to leave you behind, which has killed runs for me before.
Stupid Blackfin.
I guess the world record for this game is 39:43 by me. Again, I've ran this at SGDQ 2014, or SGDQ 2015, sorry, AOD 2015, and AOD 2014, I think have all been all my marathon appearances. And now I'm running it for you here at Californithon. Shout out to Jeff for putting this whole event on. It's been very fun. Alright, this level has a bit of a design oversight. There's a key glyph right here, which is basically the thing that I need in order to open the barrier. I'm going to go ahead and open this barrier right here, and then I'm going to go get the same key glyph again, and then just use it on another barrier. Normally you have to go to the other side of the level to open the second barrier, but because there was design oversight and I guess everyone was tired, you can go ahead and just skip it like that. These weird star things, you have to push them all the way to open up a rock barrier for you. And like the glyph habs, these can despawn if they go too far off screen. I'm going to rescue a trapped orca really quick, and then we should be done with orcas for a while, thank God.
Now, I just started playing Ecco 1 for the first time. I only had this game
so
growing up, and these are, I always found them really random when I played this game, but in Ecco 1, there's a lot more of them, so it was actually kind of a callback, which I thought was neat.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about this game that, like, I guess they're supposed to mirror events in Ecco 1, or there's recurring characters, you know, like Big Blue and stuff, but because you and I only had this game growing up, we didn't even really know the first game existed for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just never, like, really knew about it. Okay, so you're supposed to turn into a jellyfish to sneak past all these jellyfish in the level. It's actually faster to just go really fast as a dolphin, although you do lose a good amount of life like I'm doing right now.
Remember when I used to turn into a jellyfish and like make you pick me out?
Oh yeah, and then you have to figure out which one was you.
Which one is the real Ecco, yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many of them. This run is very solid in terms of movement and execution so far. I'm actually really happy with it. We've got another 3D stage. If I miss a teleport ring on this one, it can be a little more of a setback compared to other stages because there's a lot more lag on this stage. And so instead of losing like 4 or 5 seconds, I'm probably going to lose more like 6 or 7, which adds up. So far, though, I actually haven't missed any, which is really good because I almost always miss teleport rings on marathons. Makes me sad. These high ones are the really difficult ones, and I missed one, of course.
Well, as they're approaching, if you're underwater, you can't really see them.
Yeah,
so
you kind of just have to feel it out.
Thing. Yeah, because you have to feel it.
And then also their timing will depend on like how fast you're going and stuff. Because if you swim fast, then they're gonna approach faster. Good. Shout outs to Mike Z, but I doubt he's awake. Alright, so we gotta go ahead and give this fellow dolphin a fish. I will use it by sonaring this absurdly small fish towards him. I gotta sonar it up and then to the right, and then I gotta sonar it back down and to the right yet again. Ah! Okay, there we go. There we go, and then he's gonna go ahead and give me access to this song right here, which will let me open up a barrier glyph.
I've accidentally eaten that fish a lot.
Oh yeah, no, I've done that too. I lost a world record pace run to it before.
Oh, because you ate the
fish?
fish?
There's another part later in the game where you do that, and so it's like the second or third to last level where you gotta do that, and then I accidentally ate it. Oh, no. Use this rock to push down the currents. We're gonna do this one more time, and then we're gonna go to a little boss auto-scroller thing. It's not really an auto, it is an auto-scroller, but you can manipulate it. Up, straight down, one charge sonar. So this shell, it falls at like a pretty set speed, but you can push it if I push against it like this and it goes way faster. But for every second I'm touching it, I also take a good amount of damage, so I try to balance myself out from gathering health from eating these fish over here and pushing it down. Now and then it'll spawn this red eel, which it's about to do right now, and when it spawns the red eel, it's going to home in on me. So basically my strategy is I want to push it down as much as possible until I'm at lower life, and then once it's trying to spawn the red eel, then I want to move down so that it moves itself down as it tries to spawn the red eel. Those brown eels are kind of annoying as well. I was about to spawn another red eel, and those will actually kill you in just a few touches if you're not careful, so I have to be really careful. I've lost quite a few runs to this. I know my regular stream viewers can attest to that. This is actually a fairly new trick compared to other things. We didn't really know you could even push this for the longest time, or at least we didn't think you were going to be able to push it in a way that would save you lots of time. Kind of lower on health than I would like to be, but I think we should be close to the end. Yeah, it's got one more red eel, and then we're pretty close to the bottom, so now I can just go ahead and push it down.
That's a really lovely art asset.
Yes, oh, this game is so pretty. The sprite, I told you, for the sprite artist, when he did Ecco 1, he was 19, so that means that he was 21 when he did this game. Very talented.
Yeah.
But this game is still really pretty, especially because of the S-Video mod that I have. This next part of the game, I'm going to be collecting quite a few orbs. That's what this whole section is going to be. May not be as interesting to watch as some of the other parts of the game, but it is, for me, very movement intensive. And again, it's a lot of kind of going through multiple paths at multiple times in a level, so I'll make sure I keep an eye on that.
Can I do a shout out?
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out to Leo because I know he'll probably actually watch this. And he's played Ecco, so
oh, awesome.
Hi, Leo.
Yeah, I started speedrunning in the end of 2013 with Aladdin on the Genesis, which you'll see me run later. And then this is like my all-time favorite game by far, so it's kind of natural that I picked up this game. At the time, I think the world record was 43 minutes, 43 seconds by Vorpal. And there's been like some new discoveries here and there. There's not really a lot of taskers working on the game, so it progresses a little bit slower compared to other speed games. But the biggest optimization, like I said, has just been movement. You know, as my movement has gotten significantly better, the time has just gotten so much shorter. Collect more orbs. I gotta go really slowly into this so it doesn't mess up the game. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk as much for this level because I really just want to concentrate on getting my movement down correctly. I actually just realized I should probably be saving some of my voice for Aladdin or I'm gonna die.
It's gonna be great.
Great's one way to describe it.
Well, I can talk a little bit about the lore of the game. Right now,
go for it.
What Dolphin is doing is rebuilding the asteroid, the guy you saw in the alternate future. And
it's comprised of orbs, so I gotta collect them all.
Yeah. Or DNA, it's nucleotides. Nice.
There we go. Yeah. These games have quite an interesting universe, to the point where people ask the creator if he was high when he created this game.
It's that good.
It is that good. It's so bizarre, and I really love that about the series. There's also a Dreamcast one that's like an alternate timeline, but it had a different director, so it's, in my opinion, not really as fun to play. It's on the Dreamcast. I think it's called Ecco Defender of the Future. These two Genesis games also have Sega CD ports, which have different music, which, depending on your taste, I personally don't like them as much. You may or may not like that soundtrack more. For the first game, they have a lot of things fixed up. For the second game, it's mostly the same, just the load times are longer. Yeah, and there's a specific order I have to collect these orbs in, that I open these glyphs, the barrier glyphs in, and I just have it memorized, but like when you play this level for the first time, there's a lot of trial and error here, which kind of sucks.
That is true.
Yeah.
Your movement is really good here.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so important. I'm running on like an hour and a half of sleep and the decaf white mocha from Starbucks.
That's your secret formula.
Apparently.
And if you go too fast into these little teleport rings, then you actually lose the orbs, isn't that correct?
Yeah, there's a really weird glitch where if you enter them really fast, then you'll actually lose the orbs, which is a really big time loss. I don't know why it does that. Actually, I remember a tester, I think his name is Itzrasad, was looking into that, and he couldn't figure out why it happened. So that's why you always see me kind of slow down before I enter the teleport rings. A little over halfway through the level. We've got like 4 more curves to go. Yeah, again, this whole part of the game is really just movement optimization. I've probably practiced this level more than any other level in the game, or at least close to it. For comparison, I remember when I started, when I was earlier into running this game, my split time for this level was like 7 minutes, and now it's like 4.5, I think, is my best time.
That's an incredible difference.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just like that there's so much optimization there to be had.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's just crazy that like good movement does so much for your time. I would attribute that's what most of like my improvement over the year has been. What's really weird is, I feel like in platform games, you're kind of just like running and jumping at the right times, but in this game, you've really got to navigate through things in a really specific way, so it's a lot easier to mess up. What's cool about that, though, is that it means there's always something greater to optimize. And I'm more of a fan of like speed games with more movement things. I don't really think I enjoy, doing large skips as much, although they are kind of fun. And so that's one of the things that really appeals to me about this game. A minor movement trick I'm doing is called the charge sonar. You just tap B then A. What this does is it basically lets me hit enemies without losing my momentum. And so if I'm swimming forward and I know that an enemy is going to be in my way, I'll hit that button sequence really quickly. If the enemy takes multiple hits, though, then it'll actually slow me down. But those enemies are very rare, and they only appear at a few levels. All right, this should be the last pair, and then we can go ahead and move on to the next level. Now we just gotta go to the exit, and it's time for whales. Alright, there's gonna be some really big whales incoming. Like that. I try to avoid them because I end up moving slower if I get stuck in them, but there's one I've got to talk to at the end right here. He's gonna open a rock barrier for me that'll let me get the second orb that I need to finish the level. This is the last big orb collecting level, so if you're getting tired of it, we'll be done soon. That one's kind of tough to get. Try to save a little bit of time by not swimming all the way over to get it. Unlike in Ecco 1, there's a good amount of objects that actually exist off-screen. In Ecco 1, nothing exists off-screen, really. So there's a couple of exploits here and there you can do to like pick up things when you're not supposed to be able to. Get these 2 orbs. Those jumps can be a little finicky at times. Shout out to my friend Fosh. You can probably hardly see him, but he's chilling in the seats behind us. down. There we go. Alright, so this level is kind of scary because these sharks will 2-hit kill you. So you've got to be really careful about that. I'm going to go ahead and just stick towards the top. There's going to be a bunch of them flying at me, although I should be able to just avoid them as long as I hang out near the surface. Okay, go down. Shoutouts to the extremely loud Smash tournament happening in the background. Alright. Should be.
In this one, you can turn into a shark, right?
Yeah, you can, but the shark form moves a little bit slower, so it's faster to just go through it as dolphin form. But it is kind of risky because, like I said, the sharks will do a lot more extra damage to you in this level. Got another 3D stage coming up right here, and then we're kind of transitioning into the late game part, which is, I mean, you'll see it's really bizarre. It's really a lot more about platforming. Yeah, that was close. This run feels like it was really good. Like, I might be very close to world record pace. Probably not quite there, but close. Awesome. I could see this being a sub 40 with the way I'm playing right now, but we still... Oh, that's too bad. Man, I jinxed it. We still got one really difficult trick coming up in the next few levels. I was doing pretty well with it in practice. This level, Lunar Bay, it's pretty short, but I really like playing it because there's so much more open space in this level compared to other levels in the game. Gonna go down. You don't want to get hit by the enemies too many times because otherwise they transport you to a different stage, which basically is a run over. This will open a barrier for me. Stick here, go down. Whoa. Yeah, I gotta be careful, I don't want to get hit again.
Level.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this level has a lot of dead ends and open space too, so when you're navigating it for the first time, it's very difficult. I remember like when I first started getting into running this game too, I would still occasionally get lost. Oh look, Shasta is awake. Hello, Shasta. You can't hear me though.
So now you're going into the alternate future.
Oh boy. Here we go. You're gonna see what this looks like.
I believe to rescue another pair of globes for the asteroid.
Right.
Vortex stole them, right?
Yes,
Vortex.
that's correct. And this yeah. We used to always laugh at that. This is what the dark feature looks like. It's the sky and some weird structures and some like amoeba forms. Very weird. We've got one very big skip coming up that'll probably make or break whether or not this run is like actually at a world record pace, just because everything about it feels very clean right now. That was loud, whatever that was. Okay, we've got to pick. Whoa, that was weird. Glyph right here. Ugh. Please? Uh oh, there we go. So open the barrier for me, go down. Yeah. Alright, so we got a very difficult trick. It's just going to be a really precise jump. Skip's a very large part of the level, and I'll explain why it's so complicated after I do it. I need to just double check something first. Oh, sweet. Okay, this might be really good. Good? It's very scary, because if I fall off there, I die. Okay, here's where I'm going to set up the trick. Oof. Okay, that was really rough. I just messed up the input completely, so we're going to go ahead and give that another shot right here. Ah, it was a little too early. Very difficult timing. You also need just the right amount of speed. Oh, wow. Just seems to be struggling with this right now for some reason. Yeah, huh. Sorry, this may take me quite a few tries until I can figure out what's wrong. Yeah, huh. I'm wondering... Uh-oh, that's not good. Oof. Okay. Well, that was a really big mistake. That's gonna cost me quite a bit of time. That's okay, though. Yeah, so the reason why that trick is so difficult, the angle I need is actually an angle that's in between the turning of facing upright and up. So it's a very difficult angle for me to get, and I also need to be going at just enough speed that I'll be able to get into that difficult tube right there. It is the hardest trick in the game. It does kill a lot of runs, and I do put a fairly good amount of practice into it, but sometimes it just doesn't really work out for me. It's all good. It's just gonna take me another try or so. Yeah, I can either be good at that trick or have good movement. Can't have both, it seems. Ah. There we go. Yeah, you know what? Just because it seems like I'm being a little bit wonky today, I'm going to go ahead and just hit this checkpoint since it's a marathon. I've already messed it up once. Okay, so far so good. Okay. There we go.
Nicely
Okay.
done. There
Yeah. It took me quite a few tries, but we did get it. We're good. Okay, so there's one more pretty difficult jump. It takes a little bit of timing. Actually, the first time I got this on a console, first time any human got it on a console was at SGDQ 2015 during my run. Gonna grab this cliff and we just gotta get a really precise jump. I think it was a little early, but we still got it. That also skips me having to go back through the bottom part, which is really nice. So we're gonna go to the next level. This next level, I've gotta hit 4 glyphs that'll open up barriers for me. It's not really too much to say about it. I have a minor time saver right here. I can position myself to sonar that through the wall, which is nice. But in my world record run, I very famously accidentally clipped through a very large part of the stage and saved about about 11 seconds. And we have not since been able to recreate that, so this level is pretty much like I'm not gonna be able to beat the time that I did that on accident. And again, we don't really have any tasters that work in this game, so we don't really have a way of cracking a trick open. Gravity's a little weird. There we go. Alright, so that should be all 4, and now I can just go ahead and proceed to the end of the stage. I've got to open one small barrier using a glyph, or sorry, we're using a ball thing. I don't know, whatever you call these. Spheres.
I have no idea. I don't think they even named it in the game.
Slide down here, and we're going to go straight to the end. This next level of gravity is going to get pretty weird. Like, really weird. As in, like really weird. You can skip a small part of the level right there just by timing a jump. That's kind of just a design oversight by the team. Grab this key glyph and we should be able to go straight to the end of the stage without too many problems. Ow. Sometimes they get caught in there. Alright, so now we've got kind of a little boss battle called Globe Holder. This thing's going to try to squish me once I break it free using my sonar. And then I've just got to basically not get squished and let it smash itself into a wall 5 or 6 times. Or 6 times, 6 exactly on this difficulty. Alright. 1. 2. 3. 4. It's having very unusual behavior right now. 5. Where's 5? There we go. 5. And 6. There we go. Now I can pop this guy open, take these 2 orbs, and we're going to be going straight into endgame. Yeah, that boss is just a little bit scary because if it squishes you, you're pretty much dead. Although I seem to have found a fairly consistent pattern for it. It basically tries to squish you. It's more likely to try and squish you when you're closer to walls, so I kind of try to swim around it in circles, but I also kind of try to hug a wall. Because sometimes what happens is it'll just stay in the middle, and then it's not really sure where I am, so it doesn't try to squish me at all. And I do want to, it needs to squish itself in order for me to beat the level, so. Gotta make sure I'm in the right position. Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad, but you know, besides that little hiccup with the tube jump skip, actually this run is very solid. I'm very happy with it.
Oh yeah, you really recovered.
Oh, I just soft locked the game.
You what?
I just soft locked the game.
What does that mean?
So basically, when I take these final pair of globes to the asteroid, there is supposed to be a text trigger, and I left the level before the text trigger came up.
Oh.
Yeah, so I actually cannot progress any further. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use the debug menu in order to fix that. ABC, CAB. Just doing this because I don't want to take very much time to get through it. So we'll go ahead and go to Dark Sea. I apologize for this. That was just a small mistake by me. I've done that in runs before too, on accident. It's very rare. Sometimes the text trigger just takes a while to pop up, and I, kind of autopilot and make the assumption. But this is what the level I would be at immediately after, anyway.
The dolphin friends are here.
Yep, and they're all here to help me fight the vortex. Gonna pop open this glyph, scroll right down. We're gonna go into the Ecco 2 version of the machine, which those of you who have played Ecco 1, you know that the machine is like the most horrendous level on the face of the planet. Oh, there we go. It only spawns one vortex drone at a time, so as long as I just kind of chill over here, it shouldn't be able to catch up to me for a while, or it won't spawn anymore. Yeah, two very odd hiccups that don't normally happen to me that much, but that's okay. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, I just did a trick without even explaining it. I actually crashed into a wall, and for some reason, that particular part of the wall will push you into this auto-scroller, and it actually saves you about 1.5 minutes of having to do it. It's very interesting.
Well, normally when you're pushed into the wall, you die.
Yeah, but for some reason in that specific spot, it just like pushes you straight to at the middle point of the auto-scroller, and then the game assumes that you're in the auto-scroller, so it puts the camera right to that and loads everything it needs in order to do it. These little... Are those snakes? They're like half eel, half... What? I don't know. Anyway, those things will kill me pretty quickly, so I just smashed on them. Get ready for a really disgusting looking boss. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Blah. Shoutouts to Nosrafe. Spammer.
Is that related to like what's happening right now?
Yes, a little bit. Nosrace is a speedrunner and somebody who enjoys harassing me on Twitter maybe a little too much. Anyway, that boss fight, I just do it in one cycle. All you've got to do is get in the right position and mash A. And now we have the quote-unquote credits. They're not really the credits, though. This is actually just going to be like... The game literally has like a fake series of credits, and then you still have like a few more levels to finish in the game before we finish up. Normally, this would be about like 35, 36 minutes into the run, although since I messed up for a while, it's probably closer to like 37, 38, 39 minutes. I'll go ahead and just let this play for a while, let my voice recover, because Jesus. Oh, I gotta make sure it's ready. Now you get to watch a little dolphin celebration. In a moment, I will have to text smash. I guess I could talk about version differences. So, I bought a Japanese version of this game. It's pretty much 90% the same. There's two main differences though. The first is that there's a lot of lag in some places, which is exciting for me as a runner because I remember seeing that and thinking like, oh, okay, maybe this will be the new version to run on since it saves time in some places. Then we got to that auto-scroller I just did, and for some reason, in the Japanese version, that auto-scroller runs at half speed, and it's actually, I think, 3 minutes in total instead of 1.5 minutes like in this game. And I remember I actually asked the creator, Ed Annunziata, I think is how you pronounce his name, on Twitter, and I asked him why the Japanese version was like that. And then he told me it was because Sega of Japan wanted him to make the game easier, but that was literally the only thing he changed in terms of difficulty. Other than that, the Sega CD version's not really viable for running, even though it's mostly similar. The load times are just too long. I did like a test run on it, and it's like an extra 10 minutes or so. But these are the credits right here. Once we get past this, we'll be back to the gameplay. Ah, I'm surprised we haven't gotten many donations, I guess.
That is correct. We have not had any donations yet in this run, but if you would like to have your donation read, we would love to read it for you.
Yes,
so
please.
Go ahead and donate for Charity Water. Charity Water, Ecco the Dolphin, perfect combo.
Yeah, exactly.
Donate or else you'll have a vortex feature. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Want to practice that jump forever?
I mean, you saw me practicing it earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, you were doing good.
Yeah, I was doing really you know, for some reason in speedruns, you just have days where sometimes tricks just don't happen as easily.
Good recovery, though. I imagine that nerves can be a
Yeah, you know, I remember being so nervous when I got that trick at SGDQ. I was like dreading it for the entire run, and then I got it first try on accident.
Nice.
It's really silly. Yeah, it's okay. I'm just making some mistakes. That's all good. We're almost at the end of the game. Yeah, it's very easy to die on this level as well, so I probably need a little more caution with my health. Oh man, I missed another teleport ring. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just not playing as well for the second half of chapters. Still pretty solid. Talk to it again. This time I will not accidentally soft lock the game. We're down to the last 3 stages. So we've got one really big skip coming up, but first we've got to get through this level Atlantis. There were a couple theory skips for getting past this level quickly, but none of them seem to have worked out, so not going to be doing those. I'm going to go ahead and go up.
Right now you're in Atlantis, I believe, in case you guys are wondering. I know it's very sensible.
Yeah. You explore Atlantis very late in the game. Oh, whoa. That was really weird. I've never seen that happen before. You explore Atlantis very late in the game compared to an Ecco 1. Oh, whoa. Okay, I just found a small time saver on accident. That's cool. I will probably try to integrate that into the run. For some reason, the block just shot itself down really quickly. Gotta go ahead and get another fish. I remember I mentioned earlier I lost a run to accidentally eating this fish. It was at world record pace back when my time was like a 41. It was really sad. Pop open this glyph. Yeah, it's very easy to get squished here, so I'm gonna play this a little more cautiously just because it doesn't seem like I'm really playing as well right now. But we're all good.
No, you got it.
Normally you turn into a school of fish in this level, but we're not gonna do that. Excuse me? That scared me. Whatever that noise just was, I don't know if you guys heard it through the mic, but I was about to die. Anyway, normally this level takes a very long time because you go through it as a fish, but there's a setup you can do in order to skip the thing that turns you into a fish, and then you can just go through it as a dolphin, which is way faster. Now on the last level, we've got some enemies that'll instantly kill me, but I've also got to kind of sneak behind them because they'll open up these gates for me that I need to get past to finish the game. You can see kind of glimpses of it. If I sonar it, it'll actually go faster, but I'm only doing that in specific spots, like right here. There we go. And again, their spawns for those enemies are also not completely consistent, so sometimes it can be a little bit nerve-wracking to be in this level. So we gotta push a block in order to get past the current. I'm gonna just push it right here very lightly. There's a guy right there, so I'm gonna just navigate to get away from him. Oh, where'd the block go? What the heck? Huh, the block seems to have despawned. It's very weird. Doesn't normally happen, but I'll go back and it respawned. Yeah, a lot of really strange things kind of happen toward the end of this run.
Yeah. So I believe the story in this game is that, yeah, you saved the world, everyone's happy, but then they tell you, no, you have to go back and destroy the time machine that the Atlantis built to keep this
well, the
happening.
Time is coming up very soon, by the way. I don't know if you guys can hear. So get ready for that. This guy's just going to open the game for me. Out of my way. And time?
42:56.
42. Okay. Well, so I made a lot of really strange mistakes late game, but that is still honestly pretty solid. I'm really most impressed with my movement, even if it means I did some of the tricks a little more poorly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is Ecco the Tides of Time. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. We've got Aladdin coming up on deck. It won't take very long to set up, although I do want to get a bottle of water, and I will have my buddy Jeff to sing along with me. And yeah, okay, so let's talk about this message.
Snap.
I know, man. All right, and you got me. So normally when you beat Ecco 2, it gives you a secret password, and that password would have been used in Ecco 3, which was never actually made, right? So, yeah, that's normally what happens, but because I soft-locked the game and ended up using debug menu, if you use the debug menu to beat the game, then this message comes up. So yeah, I'm a cheater, you got me. But at least I was able to finish the run, that's cool. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and step off when I get a minute, and I will go ahead and get set up for Aladdin.
That was fun, good job.
Yeah, thanks for commentating with me.
That's great. I'm happy.
All right.